I'm Ray Vandiver, and Executive Director of the Tulsa Children's Museum. Tulsa Children's Museum is a 501c3 nonprofit organization with the mission to inspire children, connect families, build community through exploration, exhibits, programming, and play. Tulsa Children's Museum has been igniting the curiosity of children in Tulsa since 2007, initially as a museum without walls. In May 2013, we opened Discovery Lab after renovating the Owen Park Recreation Center and have impacted over 270,000 children and their families in just 2 short years. That's more than 100,000 more than our original business plan and feasibility projections anticipated. So we're bursting at the seams. It's been very gratifying. Within the next 5 years, we envision opening a larger, world-class facility that will be transformative for Tulsa's children and families and will respond to a compelling educational need in our community. Children's museums and science centers are invaluable community resources offering experiences that are generally not available in a traditional learning environment. Discovery Lab has proven to be an important educational resource to both Tulsa's families and schools, providing over 1,800 sessions of outreach and museum classes to area schools and organizations, and as a field trip destination to over 20,000 students this past school year. Tulsa Children's Museum's exhibits and programming encourages the development of executive functioning skills and process skills, including critical thinking and problem solving, communication and collaboration, creativity and innovation. Content at the museum and in its programming focuses on science, technology, engineering, math, health, and wellness. Over the past 2 years, Discovery Lab has established itself as a valuable Tulsa asset. Zip code data collected during admission to the museum shows that participation is balanced across all districts of Tulsa. The museum is designed to be engaging and welcoming for all children and families. Diversity is a strength of Tulsa Children's Museum. We are a community hub that appeals to families regardless of income, education, or background. Our programming impacts underserved children in many of Tulsa's Title I schools. Our Accessible Discovery program ensures that programming will be within reach for all of Tulsa's children and families through reduced or free admission for those with financial need. To date, more than 25% of students that have participated through field trips and outreach have come through the Accessible Discovery program. In addition, the Accessible Discovery program targets families in need through partnerships with the Department of Human Services, Tulsa Housing Authority, the Parent-Child Center of Tulsa, and Family and Children's Services. TCM is an economic engine. The construction and operation of the permanent site will create jobs. Our projected staffing models allows for 40 full-time and 50 part-time positions. We will be a tax revenue center in our gift shop and cafe, and visitors to the museum will continue their spending at hotels, restaurants, and nearby attractions. A study by the American Alliance of Museums found that cultural and heritage travelers, visitors to children's museums included, stay longer and spend 63% more than other leisure travelers. The U.S. Conference of Mayors has recognized that for every dollar the government invests in support of the arts, they see a return of over $7 in tax revenue. Also, unlike traditional museum models, children's museums generate upwards of 50 to 75% of their operating revenue through earned income sources, including admissions, memberships, and program fees. This proven business model lessens the contributed income necessary each year of operations. TCM has outlasted other attempts to bring children's museums to Tulsa because we are steeped in education and have always employed a methodical, reflective, community-led approach to grow. We think big, plan in detail, and carefully do it right. Research completed by a leading children's museum consultant shows that Tulsa can support a 40,000 square foot facility, which will attract 210,000 visitors each year. Note that Discovery Lab currently has an attendance close to 150,000, and that's at our 8,000 square foot public space facility. The total cost for our project is nearly $30 million for the construction of the facility and the exhibits. The land within a gathering place has been donated by George Kaiser Family Foundation, valued at nearly $10 million. We respectfully request $10 million towards the permanent site to be matched 2-to-1 by private foundations, corporate, and individual donors. The city's support would be an extraordinary catalyst to raising the funds necessary to establish a world-class facility. TCM is currently raising the funding for the first phase of design and development of the facility and plans to break ground on Tulsa Children's Museum's permanent facility in late 2018 or early 2019, and be open to the public as early as 2020. When TCM was founded, Tulsa was the only city of the top 100 metropolitan areas in the country that did not have a children's museum or science center. Discovery Lab changed that in 2013, but the work has only begun. Tulsa Children's Museum is poised to take the next step to establish a world-class museum and to realize the full educational benefit of a children's science museum in Tulsa. Thank you for your time and the work you do. We also prepared a video that I hope you will watch as well. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Tulsa Children's Museum is a place where you get to do a lot of hands-on learning, except you don't really realize that you're learning because you're having a lot of fun while you're doing it.
At the Children's Museum, there's like these tape tunnels that are made out of pure tape, which is pretty awesome. I like coming here because the dinosaurs are also very cool. They have like these sensors that track you so they can actually look at you.
There's spinny chairs, there's like a thing that you can run in, there's ropes, and there's barrels that you can climb in, and then there's the workshop.
We joined the Tulsa Children's Museum when my oldest daughter was 2.5. So we've watched her development progress as she relates to the museum in different ways. Initially, it was a way to do fun things and get physical activity because she was little and that was all we were focusing on. But as she's grown, she's become engaged in all sorts of other different parts of the museum, including the Make Lab, which she loves.
My daughter's a preschooler, she's 5. And there's not a lot of signage here. There's not a lot of directions. So the kids will be, walking around and see something and it's, oh, what does this do? There's a reason why they call it the Discovery Lab.
The opportunity that the students have at the Tulsa Children's Museum makes learning stick. It's something that they will always have and always carry with them wherever they go. Most of our students live in some range of poverty, and so the marriage between the museum, the district, and Cooper allows our students to experience things that they wouldn't experience any other way. And being able to learn and discover hands-on is optimal for them.
Like school, you would need a teacher, but here, you don't really need a teacher. You can learn things on your own.
Learning here at the Tulsa Children's Museum is way more fun because you get to do a lot of kinesthetic learning. This is science. Like, this is the fun stuff that I want to learn.
The mission of the George Kaiser Family Foundation is equal opportunity for all children. And the Children's Museum is set up for all children within the Tulsa community and surrounding communities.
We're a proud supporter because they have partnered with us to help the children that we have focused on with North Tulsa and Hawthorne Elementary, but they also help with all the children in the community. STEM education is an acronym for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics Education. The Children's Museum does an amazing job of creating STEM opportunities for young people.
It's very important to fund this museum because in order to constantly rethink creative ways in which to engage families and different demographics in the area, it certainly takes great cost.
The whole place is just awesome, and it'd be really cool to go and try out and even take your parents there or any siblings, because no matter what age you are, you're all gonna have a lot of fun there.
There are many remarkable facts about Tulsa Children's Museum. Tulsa Children's Museum has been part of Tulsa since 2007 and has been at Discovery Lab in Owen Park since 2013. The museum provides open-ended experiential learning opportunities through meaningful play. Research ties this type of play to reading readiness and school success. Participation in the museum spans all across Tulsa, and children of all ages, backgrounds, and abilities have experienced and enjoyed our exhibits and programs. In 2 years, the museum has impacted over 270,000 children and families through its unique science, technology, engineering, math, health, and wellness programming. Tulsa Children's Museum's Accessible Discovery Program ensures that over 25% of our services are delivered at a free or reduced rate for families that may need financial support. In support of traditional education, the museum has delivered over 1,800 outreach programs to area schools and libraries in less than 2 years. We're happy to note that, like other children's museums and science centers, the museum earns about 50% of its revenues through earned income sources like admissions, groups, and event rentals, lessening its reliance on contributed income sources. Tulsa Children's Museum enhances the quality of life for area families and provides a regional and national draw for tourists and businesses alike. Since we opened, the response from the Tulsa community has been amazing. Our research and the feasibility studies conducted by national experts indicate that Tulsa can support a 40,000 square foot facility. We anticipate over 210,000 visitors each year in the years to come. The larger permanent site will help ensure the museum can meet the growing needs of the Tulsa community.